Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about the loner decks that are currently available for the Master Duel Limit 1 Festival. Now, some of them are pretty good, notably this one. This one's actually very good. We'll talk about that one the most, but let's talk about the other two as well. All of them have a few set of similar cards. Notably, Pank, Dark Hole, Raigeki, Harpies, Monster Reborn, Pot of Desires, I think they all have this for some reason, Lightning Storm, Crackdown, Ice Dragon's Prison, Heavy Storm Duster, Imperm, Called By, and Scapegoat. And Tri-Brigade, Shureg the Ominous Omen. And I know, immediately your brain is like, why do they all have this? And I'll give you a hint. What type are the Scapegoats? That's right, they're all beasts. So, with 4 tokens and a link 4, yeah, it doesn't quite add up because Scapegoat cannot be used, or you can't summon anything else the turn you use Scapegoat. However, you can still use this during the end phase of your opponent's turn in order to get the 4 tokens necessary to go Shureg on your opponent's turn. Why is this in every deck? I don't know, but it's very funny. Anyway, all of these decks are utilizing some of the new cards that just came out. For Dragon Link, for lack of a better term, Boral Code is their newest card. For the fairies, they have a few new ones, notably Protector of the Agents as well as Master Flare Hyperion. I don't know if this one's new, but I know for a fact this one is. We also have Majesty Hyperion, as well as some of the new cards. And then we have the Reptilians. I'm not even going to talk about this one because it is genuinely that bad. I have played all of these decks. This deck doesn't do anything. It does nothing. It has no game plan. I don't know what else to say. So, talking about the other two, let's talk about Fairies. Fairies' game plan is pretty basic, but basically if you can get into the Link 2, as well as into a Sanctuary in the Sky, you're kind of off to the races. You can also have powerful things like Divine Punishment, which is just an Omni Negate, as well as things like Diviner of the Heralds to send Entis or what have you, and all in all, just some pretty solid strategy. Master Hyperion is also pretty strong, given the fact that you could just banish a Light Fairy in order to pop a card, and you could potentially do that twice per turn. You also have things like Ghost Ogre and Archfiend Eccentric as additional, just solid disruption, and the deck's not terrible. I've never summoned Master Flare Hyperion because I've never summoned any of these, because you're only running 4 tuners in Earth, Uranus, I think there was Diviner, and which I never actually drew. I never drew Diviner, and technically Ghost Ogre, and that's it. Those are your 4 tuners that you can use for all of these synchro monsters that you're never gonna use. So there you go. However, the Dragon Link deck is actually very good. Basically, any of your rocket monsters gets you into or not any of your rockets, but any of your normal summonable Dark Dragon monsters allow you to go into Striker Dragon. This card is basically full combo as long as you have another material for you to summon off of the Boot Sector launch. So, it's pretty crazy. It doesn't end on anything too spectacular for a first turn board, but being able to go into Boral Sword Dragon is pretty good, going second. As well as being able to make a Borreload Savage Dragon is also pretty good, just in a lower power format, where you're able to just negate something potentially going second as well. All in all, the deck's pretty good. It plays things like Pank, Raigeki, and Lightning Storm as well, which is in every deck, to just make it that much more powerful. So it's basically just a mishmash of Dragon, or more specifically Rocket, Synchron stuff, Rocket stuff, Borreload stuff, and it works fairly well. And notably, it does have Magic Cylinder and Magical Cylinders. We'll get to those. But yeah, let's just hop into the duels and show you how these decks kind of perform, and just some of the general things that you can do with them. Alright, so here we are in our first duel, and as you could tell, we are going second. And you might be like, why are we going second? Well, the reason for that is because we want to sack our opponent with powerful staples, like Raigeki and Lightning Storm. So my opponent is playing the same deck that we are, and so what they are going to do is just do some basic combos. They're going to go and link off in the Quad Boral. They're going to activate the Quad Boral. They're going to discard a card. They're going to pop themselves. They're going to bring back this... Alright, that's fine. We're going to draw the Rocket Caliber. We're going to pop everything with Lightning Storm. We're going to normal summon the Rocket that we have. Going to Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon's effect is going to activate. We're going to search out the Boot Sector Launch. Boot Sector Launch is going to activate. We're going to actually pop the Striker Dragon using its other effect. It has a second effect, if you didn't know. We're going to special summon out 2. We are going to special summon out both the rockets from our hand using the field spell, and then go into Quad Boral ourselves. We're going to activate the Quad Boral in order to pop itself, in order to special summon back both of those monsters that we just linked off, and then we are going to go for the Squib Draw. Squib Draw is going to give us Pankratops, and then we are just going to end our turn because we're dumb and don't know how to do our own combos. We do get to set the Heavy Storm Duster, and we have Pink and Raigeki as additional follow-up, so our combo was a little bit better, but down comes the Harpy's Feather Duster, which is kind of sad. Not that big of a deal, though. They are going to go for the Hibernation Dragon to special summon out the Quad Boral. Then they are going to link into Boral Code. Now, this card is a bait. Do not link into this card. It doesn't do anything. That's all. It just doesn't do anything. They're going to go for Pink. They are going to pop our card before going to battle. I don't know why they do this the way that they do. They could have gotten an additional set of damage, but instead they decided not to. Anyway, we're going to special summon out the Pink. We're going to go and just walk into them and then pass. Alright, Pink. Bring it home for us, baby. So they're going to normal summon their Metal Rocket Dragon, and they don't have any more Link 1s, so there's that. We're going to go for the Hibernation Dragon to add back the Rocket Caliber, and we also don't have anything that we can go into, but we can deal a little bit of damage thanks to our Raigeki. Now, we still have Pink, so we can just pop whatever they end up summoning, so I'm not really too worried about it. They go for the Squib Draw here. Now, notably, Squib Draw specifically says, and if you do, which means we can actually just pop their monster before it gets destroyed thanks to Squib Draw, making it so that they can't actually get anything. They're going to go for the Rocket Tracer here, and alright. I'm going to go for Dark Hole. They're going to go for the Rocket Tracer. They're going to pop themselves in order to special summon out another rocket from their deck, which will then be promptly destroyed. We're going to normal summon the Rocket Caliber, which will then special summon out the Exploder Rocket Dragon, and then we will attack in for 2k. And pass the turn. Yeah, we're kind of just doing the same thing. They're going to bring out their own Rocket Caliber, and then they will go for the Pot of Desires. Okay, they're going to tribute off their Rocket Caliber in order to special summon out their own Exploder Rocket Dragon and pass the turn. We're going to, in the end phase, both special summon out some monsters, but the difference is that I actually have rockets still in my deck, whereas my opponent does not. So we're going to go for the Silver Rocket Dragon, and then we will, they will summon out the Rocket Synchro. We're going to use the effect of the Hibernation Dragon in order to go for Quad Boral. Quad Boral is then going to pitch the Scapegoat in order to pop itself, in order to bring back the Caliber and the Rocket Recharger. Then we will go for the Big Bad Warlord Savage, which will then grab itself some tokens. We're going to walk in and end the game. Good game. Now, I know that last game was a mirror match, but it gave you a good example of how the deck wants to perform, and we drew Pink again, so I guess we just win. Our opponent is playing branded stuff. Fairies, I guess? That's, I guess, what we're gonna call it. Anyway, they go for the Despia Theater here, and I'm like, yeah, do your thing. Just kidding. I have Ghost Ogre, so no theater for you. A die. So, go bye-bye, Theater. No fusion summoning for you. They're going to end their turn on a singular Aluber. Hooray. We draw Rocket Tracer for turn, which is absolutely insane. So we are going to special summon out the Pankratops. We're going to activate the Boot Sector Launch. Boot Sector Launch is going to special summon out 2 of our monsters, and then we are going to normal summon the Rocket Tracer. We're going to pop the Field Spell to go for the Absolute, or I don't know, a monster. Then we're going to link off into Delirious Dragon. Then we are going to make the Borreload Savage. We are going to equip it with just the 1 token. There's the concession. So, because of the fact that most boards aren't nearly as strong as they are in regular ranked, I figured going second is actually very strong. The reason for this is just because most people aren't going to be able to get full combos out with just a bunch of one-offs, and they're a lot less likely to, even if they can do a full combo. However, in this duel, we're just playing against Eldlich. So, yeah, being able to just not do anything. Okay, out comes Judgment. Yeah. Take all of the damage. That's fine. Yeah, cool. No, it's fine. We still have full combo. We still have Shell Rocket Dragon. Well, kind of. Nope, okay. Out comes Torrential. Alright, sounds good. Magic Cylinders is going to be set, and we are going to just special summon out during the end phase the Exploder Rocket Dragon. It's just the biggest one. That's why we went for it. They're going to activate, once again, their Cursed Eldland, which is... okay, fine. They're going to go for Eldlich. They're going to send the Magical Cylinders. I'm going to activate it in order to get the Magic Cylinder on our side of the field. Out comes Magic Cylinder. Alright. They're going to activate their Eldlich in order to special summon out their big boy. Out he comes. Hey ho, here we go. And they're just going to end the turn, realizing that if they attack in to the Magic Cylinders, they die. They're going to set their Eldlixir of Scarlet Sanguine and pass the turn. Well, I do have a Rocket Dragon here, so I am going to go into the Striker Dragon, which you may be like, why are you going into Striker Dragon? Because I can, and for like no other reason. We're gonna go into the Quad Boral here, and then activate the effect of the Quad Boral, which is then going to be popped by Ghost Ogre. So I'll tell you the combo real quick. I activate the Quad Boral. I bring back both of these guys in order to go into the level 8 Synchro with Quad Boral attached, allowing me 2 negations and just being kind of large. And it turns out no Ghost Ogre. Alright, I guess I don't get to play the game. I'm just going to end the turn there and be like, alright, out my Magic Cylinder. And they're also playing Prank Kids. Alright, just play everything, dude. Alright, so they're going to do their whole thing. Yeah, but Prank Kid, yada yadas. We get it, it's fine. But, notably, they're now above the threshold. If they attack, they're fine. That's what they're thinking, alright? They go to battle, I let it go through. That's fine. We're going to activate the Magic Cylinder on Dogmatic Floor. And chain Magical Cylinders in the grave. That's all. Now, we are going to move on to our Fairy deck with a fairly decent hand. Again, we want to go second, so going second is pretty good. My opponent is going to normal summon the Unizombie to send the Eldlich, which is their biggest mistake. Because now Eldlich is in the grave for me to steal. Anyway, we are going to start off with the Archfiend Eccentric. We're going to try and pop this middle card. I always try and pop the middle one because I feel like most people set their most powerful card in the middle or first. That may not be entirely the case, but yeah, out comes the Hakero, and we're just going to pop that anyway. So, yeah, there you go. And then we are going to activate the Sacred Waters, which allows us to get Neptune to our hand. Then we're going to normal summon the Agent of Mystery Earth and grab up Uranus. We're going to activate the Neptune here, which is going to be Grave Digger Trap Hold, which means no Sanctuary in the sky for us. That does really suck, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, we're gonna Monster Reborn, and we're gonna steal the Eldlich, because, I mean, what does my opponent do if they don't have Eldlich? That's it. I have no other game plan. Just like, alright, my opponent now can't play the game. So I'm gonna deal a whole bunch of damage, set the Crackdown, and pass. So, my opponent is going to normal summon the Shiranui Spirit Master, which I will promptly steal, and say, no, I want my monster to stick around. My opponent will then set themselves a Eldlixir, which is not going to do anything, because the Eldlich is right here. We're going to normal summon the Venus to go into Protector of the Agent's Moon, which will then send a Majesty Hyperion, which also procs the effect of Loa in hand in order to special summon itself since a fairy activated its effect. My opponent is then going to activate the effect of Fiend Comedian. If you have never seen this card, it is terrible. It's a coin flip. Toss a coin and call it. If you call it right, all of your opponent's cards in their graveyard are removed from play immediately. If you call it wrong, send a number of cards equal to the cards in your opponent's graveyard from your deck to the grave. It's actually pretty good because you just like get to mill or banish cards, which is pretty nice. However, knowing that they literally have nothing now in their spell and trap card zone, I can literally just go to battle after summoning out the Loa and win. So, there's that. Good game. Alright, and once again, going second. Feels good. We drew Archfiend Eccentric, which is actually pretty good. And my opponent's doing some weird combo stuff. Okay, bring out the tour guide. Send Archfiend Eris, which is going to send Sage, and they have a what is this? Infernity General. What is going... They're playing Infernities? You'll see. It's actually very interesting, but I'm just going to kind of fast forward through this because it's an Infernity combo that takes like 6 years. Yeah. Anyway, out comes the Nemesis, or Necromancer, bring back the Infernity Archfiend. Archfiend is going to search the launcher, then they are going to link off into Dugaris the Timeless, activate the effect in order to special summon back the Archfiend, also skipping their main phase 1. They're going to activate the effect in order to pitch a card, and then they are going to go to Apollosa after like 19 summons. They're going to activate the General in order to special summon 2 Infernity monsters from the grave. Then they're going to link off into Tri-Gate Wizard, activate the effect of their the launcher. They're going to special summon out the Necromancer and the Sage. Necromancer is going to go for Infernity Archfiend, and then they are going to search out their Mirage. Then they're going to special summon it with the Sturgian Street Patrol, link off into Nightmare Phoenix, activate the effect of the Mirage in order to bring back the Necromancer and the Infernity Archfiend. Archfiend is going to search out Barrier, which is an Omni Negate. Then they are going to link off into Barricade Board Blocker, activate the effect of Necromancer. Then they are going to search out Infernity Break, set a card, and pass. Now, what have they ended on? Let me quickly explain. Infernity Barrier, an Omni Negate counter trap. Apollosa, 3 mats, 3 negates. Tri-Gate Wizard is very interesting. It has 3 effects depending on how many cards are co-linked to it. The most important one is this one. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. Also, some other things that are pretty nice. Once per turn, you can target a card on the field, banish it. The Nightmare Phoenix and the Barricade Board Blocker don't do anything. Infernity Archfiend needs to be on the field for either of these, just this one, to activate, so do keep that in mind. But the Infernity Break also just banishes a card to pop a card. So that's what we are working with. Anyway, we are going to go and draw Majesty Hyperion. Very interesting. We're going to start with the Archfiend Eccentric. We're going to pop a card, and then we are going to, we're going to pop the Infernity Break, and then we are going to go for the Cupid Volley. We're going to activate Cupid Volley here, which actually fetches out the Omni Negate of Tri-Gate Wizard. Okay, this immediately becomes way better for us. So, they are going to banish our Cupid Volley, which is fine by me. The main thing that we wanted to do was fetch out this negate, which is exactly what we ended up doing. Because now we can go Majesty Hyperion, which is just enough attack to get over the Infernity Archfiend. So we are going to just attack in, destroy the Archfiend, and you might be wondering, well, they still have an Infernity on their side of the field. Doesn't Barrier still work? The answer to that is no. Reason being, it needs to be specifically in attack position. So dealing with that there is pretty nice. Also, because Majesty Hyperion is an inherent summon, it doesn't activate or can't be negated with the Apo, so we get the free summon there as well. So we're going to banish the Cupid Dunk, I think, in order to use the Majesty Hyperion's effect, but it doesn't really matter. We're just going to Dark Hole and end our opponent's turn. We're going to set one and pass. Now, this card allows us to immediately set a Sanctuary in the Sky or a spell or trap that specifically mentions it directly from the deck. So, that's pretty good. Also, their main phase 1 is skip, and they scoop it up. What are you going to do when you have nothing else to do? Now, to be fair with both of these decks, they're not great. However, for loner decks, they kind of do stuff. They have a lot of really strong one-ups, which is the biggest boon for them. You can kind of just, like, big bungus beat down your opponent sometimes. Just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna special pank after wiping your board with a Lightning Storm Raigeki, and then just kind of stare at you and be like, alright, out my Panker Tops. Which sometimes is enough, sometimes it's not. But yeah, I mean, both of these decks can kind of do that. The fairies are definitely weaker than the Dragon Link stuff. You don't really set up anything too great going first. The most that you could do is really like, I don't know, maybe a Divine Punishment. It kind of depends on what you draw. If you draw something like Diviner of Herald or the Agent of Mystery Earth, you can kind of do a few things. They're not the greatest, but at least you can do something. Whereas if you draw like anything else, sometimes it's just like a dead hand. So there's that. And Reptilians are absolutely terrible. Stay far away from this deck. This deck is so absolutely bad. Even having so many good cards in it, they don't do anything. They don't do anything. There is no game plan. The idea is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna change your attack to 0, except they're only playing like 4 cards that do that. It just doesn't do anything. Stay away from this one. Anyway, the other 2 are pretty fun. And yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.